As I review the tendencies of my personality, just so I can delight in the things that delight our Creator about me and understand, observe the differences in my responses so that I can observe my growth, my expansion in understanding, my maturity. Because sometimes we'll still act like children if we don't see how we've grown up already. And then we will see, oh yeah, that's not really me anymore. Why do I do that? That's habit. And one thing about me is I would always come to a point of frustration. And so I'll feel this momentum. Like I was moved to do this, obtain that, and a lot of momentum going. And then all of a sudden there's a frustration, a stagnation. Like I have all these tools. I'm prepared to, nest a new abode. And they're healthy, quality things that I always wanted to feel I belonged amongst. And normally when there's a frustration, I would get depressed. Oh, I'm doing something wrong. Oh God, please just, save my children, destroy me, just save my children. I don't care whether I live or die. It's not important to me. Oh, God, I'm awful. I've obviously done something displeasing to you. Please just save my neighbor. Save these people that were good to me. It's always, just do away with me. I don't even care about myself. Just take care of everybody else. The whole world is in pain. You see the suffering in poor countries or amongst homeless people. Like, just put an end to the world. If I'm not worth saving at this point, you don't need to save me. You don't need to prolong this just to wake me up, make me grow, whatever. Just end the suffering in the world. That would be my normal. And this morning was the first time I was given to pray for myself. And so I observed the difference in the nature of that prayer and the changed nature within me. And I have appreciation for that. And so I start reading. When it came into my mind and heart about Shavuot, this time of covenant, renewing covenant with our Creator, this opportunity, I was like, okay, well, how do I prepare for it? Well, how did our Creator prepare the Israelites for it? Because they're the only example that we have a definitive record of. And so I'm reading about when Moses was told where the name of our Creator, how to address our Creator, because you cannot name something that is formless, infinite. You can't strap it down with one word, because it is in all, through all, and it can be anything to us at any time that it desires. A mother figure, a father figure, a knight in shining armor figure, a plant to grow up and shade us. It is not limited to a name. However, how it wanted to be known was made known to Moses. And so I'm reading from there, and I'm reading the plagues upon Egypt. And I'm seeing the parallel between our leaders and Pharaoh. So in the United States, it's Donald Trump. And I saw an interview, and somebody asked him about, UFOs. And his response was, some very good-looking men like Tom Cruise in Top Gun, the pilots, sound men, quality men. I get a kick how strapping, strong men, like the appearance of men is what impresses him. And he says, very respectable people. They say, that there are these things up there that they don't understand. He says, but I don't believe them. He's hardened his heart. He says he's Christian. But again, look at the Roman Empire. Look at, how they had let Christianity in. Supposedly. So, anyways, I'm seeing the parallels. We have got 2 feet of sleet destroying the crops in Kansas, or the corn plants in Kansas. We have got floods. We have got fires. The man is still planning on clear-cutting thousands of acres in Michigan. I've tuned into the forests of Michigan, up in that part of the country, because I was always interested in like the Appalachian Trail and stuff. There is a trail that goes up through there, but it's not maintained, and I tuned into it, and there is such dense energy up there. There are spirits up in that forest, and Trump is gonna go clear cut these forests where these spirits have kept people, humanity, and civilization at bay till this point in time. We'll see how that goes. But it's just like Pharaoh. Our Creator is sending all of this upon Trump's people. And he's still, no, I'm going to go make allies with the Middle East. The people of Qatar, they outclass Trump. Like, elegance, taste, the tolerance that they're in that part of the Arabian population. They know about jinns, about magic, about demons. They do not tolerate it. They know how to hunt them down. They know how to do away with that stuff. They do not tolerate it. Trump doesn't even believe it exists. So, I'm also familiar with a technique that you can be a law-abiding, moral person, and the police forces, the governing, little maintain the vibe and the peace and, maintain the herd people. They will treat you with respect. They will show appreciation for you. Like, they will tell you, I love you are never a problem to us. We love that you are here. But the second a demon decides to latch on a person who relentlessly comes after you to assault you, to cause trouble with you, their response you're both trouble, you're both getting punished. So if it's like a domestic violence situation and you've been somebody that they've said, oh, we respect you, you're never any trouble, we can trust you, it doesn't matter. If you end up with an abusive domestic partner, you will go to jail just like your partner does. There is no difference between you. You are both part of the disruption. You're taking time out of their day where they can be hunting down the more exciting, bad guys. You're a problem too. So you go to jail. And that's what they're doing with Israel. That's what they're doing with Pakistan. You're both a problem, so you're both getting punished. You're both going to suffer for this. Because we big guys, now there's a conglomeration, there's an agreement, there's an alliance between these big forces that have never worked. They've never played together before. So now they're saying, you know what? We're going to play together. In the meantime, in Israel, people are saying the fires going on there, people are saying they saw 3 huge spirits. And of course they think they're the good people, so they're demons. They aren't necessarily they aren't going to believe of themselves that their creator would send angels to stir up fire to wake up their butts and create fear that might cause them self-reflection. No. But man, our creator's hand is heavy all over this earth, and the rulers, it's the enemy, it's the scientists, it's this anything but God. Anything that, as long as you are not saying this is God's hand, you're fine. Conspiracy theories, it doesn't mean the conspiracy theories aren't true. They're just being used by our creator to fall upon us at this time. So now it had started after I saw, when I was leaving Southern California and my eyes were opened to evil and how it all works and how we are moved through time, the metaphysical principles of how everything works. And since then, it feels very much, quite often, like I have lead weights strapped to my body. I no longer have the aches and pains that I had when I started experiencing it last year. However, it's a heaviness. It's like somebody added a whole lot of weight to me, which at first was legitimate because I came from the desert, thinner than I've ever been in my life, other than when I almost starved to death. And so I had gained weight, but I should have been building muscle while I was gaining that weight, because I was adding exercise, I was eating regularly, so I shouldn't feel so heavy. And it just occurred to me as I was sitting here reflecting on all of this, what I was shown back there before I left Southern California, and how to move through time and space, to change our reality, to go from one reality to the next, to move out of a vibrational space. You accumulate like all the baggage from the past, and you go through it so you know what you want to take with you and what you do not. And so it becomes, the old version of yourself seems to consume you, to surround you. And it does that for a reason, to serve you, to serve us. Because it's like when you see the people who want to do deep sea fishing, or deep, near the coast, but they want to go very deep. So they'll grab a heavy rock and it'll sink them down, and it will hold them down till they get what they want to get and achieve what they want to achieve. And then they let go of that rock, and the buoyancy of the body, the air in the body, just lifts them straight up. They shoot up for the surface. It's the same thing energetically in the metaphysical nature of our reality. So I have all of this strapped to my body so that I can be propelled like poof, forward to wherever I am to be, in what my experience is to be next. And so remembering that helps me deal with this, because I no longer see it as I'm experiencing this because I'm evil or I did something wrong. This is a part of the process. It's like growing, the outer shuck coming off. And you see people peel things away, and then the desirable part comes out. I can only think of like an illustration of food, when you see them pull back some part of the animal and then out comes this thing. But it's probably, we'd probably rather view ourselves as like a serpent shedding its skin, something of that nature, But nobody wants to be related to a snake. Because that would be too much like Satan and the evil spirits. So, I don't know. Whatever metaphor works for you. So, if anybody is feeling right now like they are heavy and frustrated in their movements, they thought something was meant for them, but it's being held away from them right now. There's a reason for that. And it's not because you're bad, and it's not because you have more growth to do. It's not. Just be still. I like that scripture that somebody pointed out yesterday, because it helps me get back into feeling that I felt when I was in a congregation and I thought they were God's people, and I was innocent and I was embraced as, just the sweetheart of the congregation. People would want their kids to associate with me because I was a good influence, and, I was learning, I was coming out of my shell and all of that. So this one helped me return to that state. So it's Philippians chapter 4, verses 6 and 7. Be careful about nothing, but in everything by prayer and supplication with thanksgiving, let your requests be made known unto Elohim, and the peace of Elohim, which passes all understanding, shall keep your hearts and mind through Mashiach Yeshua, through our Messiah Yeshua. So it's just that part. Don't be careful about everything. Because when we think that we're doing something wrong, we're like, oh, I gotta be careful. How do I approach, my friend when I have a request? I'm careful about my words. I know that they're going through a hard time, and I'm focused on, I don't want them to feel us. I don't want them to feel. I don't want them to respond. This world has made me so paranoid about how I approach people. And, that's fostered by the law of attraction. The energy that we approach people in is going to... Well, my energy is always good. I don't ask for anything unless I'm excited about obtaining it. I don't ask people for anything I don't need unless I have to ask them. Like, there is no other way. They've already invited... I mean, you could tell me, hey, if you need $100 At any time, come ask. This is here. This is set aside for you. I'm not going to use it. Or we'll make it more compatible, agreeable. I have these cans, okay? These recyclables, you can exchange them for money in a lot of states in the United States. Your soda cans, beer cans, stuff like that, you pay a deposit on it, so when you bring it back, you get money. So let's say somebody says, I have all these bags of cans. I do not like returning them. It's stinky, it's messy, you gotta wait in line while they count them all and blah, blah, blah. Too much. So they're here. Take them if you need them. I will do absolutely everything else within my power before I go and ask for those cans if I can have them. And I will even apologize. I will be anxious about asking. I know you said that I could have those. Does that still apply? So that's normally my nature. And so I've become very anxious. Whereas somebody else off the street would be like, oh, really? I can have them? All right, yeah, I'll be around in a few days. Like, I wish I could be that easygoing about receiving things, well, I am now. I'm getting there. And if you think about it, that's what our Creator had the Israelites do before they left Egypt. Go to your neighbors. Ask for the silver. Ask for the gold. Ask for the good things to take with you. Like, oh, okay. So there may come a point where we're told, all those things people said you could have, all those favors that are owed, it's time to call them in. It's okay to call them in. It doesn't mean you didn't work hard enough. It doesn't mean you don't deserve it. It doesn't mean anything other than our Creator stored that stuff up for you so that it would be there when it was time for you to claim it. That's what that is. And everybody reads the scriptures. Yeshua said, do not work for your food. Do not strive, It doesn't mean don't go get a job or anything. It just means don't strive for it. Don't suffer for it. Don't sacrifice your relationship with your Creator, your relationship with your family, your relationship with your community. Don't neglect all of that in order to obtain these things. You will have these things when you need them. And yet, they'll listen to Paul's scripture instead. And governments love this. The people in charge. Let he who does not work not eat. So, if your employer decides you're lazy, you don't get your paycheck, you go hungry. And they can be whimsical people. You don't want to be subject to that. So, to sum it up, I finally prayed for my own self. The weight, the heaviness, the frustrating of our accomplishment is there for a purpose. That is what is going to propel us into our future. And we don't have to be afraid to ask for anything. We don't have to. I always forget the word. See, I'm not used to word. We don't have to be careful about everything. Be that child that wakes up in the morning and goes about, hey, I'm awake, I'm ready to do this, let's get this going. Be that person. Bounce into a room without regard to the vibe of the room. Because I tried. I was reminded today how my mother totally resented that I had a presence. I mean, I'm hiding. I'm insecure. I don't even want people to sing happy birthday and watch me blow out candles. I would hide on my birthday. I would not be around when I was old enough to escape that stuff. So my presence, I didn't know what to do with it. I didn't know what it meant. It made me self-conscious. It made me feel insecure. But my mother envied it. Now I've seen, especially upon my awakening, I've seen how my presence, I would go, like, we were part of the SCA. That's the Society for Creative Anachronism, authentically recreating medieval life. The skills and dress and social stuff. So we went to our meeting, and I'm just watching, and I'm noticing that there's a power shift going on within the people in the group. And I'm like, that's because I'm here. I'm not saying a word. We're just sitting back. We're just letting them hash things out so we can get this meeting started, and share knowledge and information and planning for gatherings and stuff. But I became aware of why my presence is so significant. And it has nothing to do with me. People are into spiritual warfare. Because scripture says, destroy the machinations of the enemy. It doesn't mean go out, start claiming territory for God. It's already God's territory. Come on. And it's not targeting demons, hunt them down. No. It's bring that presence. Be that person. I mean, I have been told, don't be nice to those kids. Don't be that nice to my kids. Don't do it. Because it's a tough world. They need to be hardened. Don't be so nice, motherly, nurturing to my children. Like, but just me being that person woke everybody else to the need for this kind of person. And they stopped supporting that father as much as they had before. He was idolized. He was like, But he chose trashy, disrespectful women. And he eagerly put his children through trauma, assault, in every kind of way. But my presence inspired other people. One woman had been, and I never spent time with her. I never said, hey, you gotta leave that guy. I was just myself. A single woman holding her own ground in a lawless community filled with the most vile of evils. And I saw one woman, she had two men, and she was yanking both their chains. She was no longer a victim. Another one, her family had been trying for years to get her away from this guy. And then one day, she's beep-bopping, running into me. She says, oh my gosh, she said, I hit him back. And I'm running. She says, I'm going to this domestic violence program. It's like, cool. Just my being there, my struggle to understand and create and maintain healthy boundaries for myself destroyed the machinations of the enemy that was so happy to. This woman came with a social security check, keeping her down meant they could take that money and do evil things with it. And just waking this, basically I was depriving them of their resources, their energetic resources, metaphysical resources, and then physical resources, simply by being my blind, struggling, thinking I was a lone self. That is how you destroy the machinations of the enemy. By being that something different. By being, when I was on the street, they would all know, all the other women, when they go to a man, you're working hard, you're taking good care of yourself and your kids, and you do not turn to men. You're not getting, respect. This guy comes up to me, he's like, I don't want to offend you, he says. And normally I'd been like, no, thank you. But I had finally learned to accept, donations, contributions from people. And he's got his wallet. He says, I see how hard you work. I just want to help support you in what you're doing, because I see you're strong, you're independent, you're taking care of things, you're doing a good job. I want to support that. Like, okay, yeah, I'll accept that money, So then they don't have their minds closed to every homeless person. They're seeing something different. Like, maybe these people aren't the problem. And the other homeless people were just so ticked off. Like, you have housing for everybody else, but you don't have housing for this woman and her children. Why? Because she's not an alcoholic. She doesn't drink. She doesn't do drugs. There's only programs for people who drink and do drugs. And so people became awake and aware of this fact. Like, why don't we have housing for normal people? So that's all it takes, is that different presence. And so again, recap. I've prayed for myself. This weight, this heaviness, this frustration, this is what is going, that's the ballast. Like a hot air balloon. We can drop these sandbags that are holding us down so that we can be propelled forward. And our leaders are all being pictures of Pharaoh right now. Our Creator is reigning the earth with all of these judgments, all of these plagues, all of these so-called natural disasters, and their hearts are hardened. We're going to be, this is the exodus out of this system. This is the exodus out of this world. And don't be afraid to receive. When we're moved, when that ballast is cut, hey, can I have that? Hey, can I have that? Hey, we got land over here for you to stay. Yeah, I'm coming. I'm going to stay. Yeah, I'm coming. Thank you. Hey, we'll help you move. All right. Yeah, thank you. I got a day off of work. I'll help you move. Okay, normally I wouldn't let anybody take a day off of work for me, do anything for me. But when the time comes, it'll be like, I am exodusing from here. And it's funny how I was given how to prepare myself for this renewing of a covenant. Because when the covenant is renewed, we are redeemed. All of the baggage, all of the wrong choice making that we had been conditioned to make, we are redeemed from that. Like, she served her time. Your time is up. It's a Jubilee season, man. Everybody's going to their inheritance. And so I was guided to the reading of the scripture that I needed to prepare for this. So when Yeshua told Peter that divine revelation, that recognition that you experienced without anybody else telling you, without a scripture saying, okay, It's this, he's this many cubits by this many cubits, and he has this many pimples and that many pimples. Okay, no, that divine revelation given to him, that is the rock upon which the entire future of humanity. It was the church, but now all communities, all structure, all of that will be based on divine revelation. That is what our world will be built on, is each of us getting what we need when we need it. It's beautiful. It's wonderful. If you like that kind of thing, and if you don't, say lovey. Okay. So, hopefully this helps anybody who feels like they've been frustrated, weighed down, like maybe they haven't recognized some difference in themselves. Whatever you can get out of this, get out of it. If not, this is a witness and a testimony against those who say, hey, I didn't have an opportunity at that knowledge. Oh yeah, this turned up on your thing. Watch it now. Watch what you decided you wasn't worth your time. Wasn't a big enough channel. Didn't get enough likes. Didn't get enough views. Didn't see enough comments. Didn't get pulled up by the algorithm long enough.